Hello again everyone, this is another G1 transformer review. This transformer is a little bit of a different sort of kettle of fish than a lot of the transformers we've been dealing with in the sort of past videos. Although he's packaged as Decepticon and I suppose his morals would put him more in the Decepticon camp than any other, he's actually a Transformer mercenary and a powermaster. His name's Doubledealer, though I know in some of the IDW comics and that they've released since, where they've included his character, they've called him Dealer. As you can see, he's I suppose a rocket launcher would be the best sort of description of his vehicle. Mobile rocket launcher, missile launcher. He comes with his rocket, which goes into two parts, which I'll show you as I transform him. This blue section, which mounts at the back of the rocket when it's in this mode, but it's also needed in some of his parts for his transformation. And he comes with two powermasters, because he's effectively a double dealing spy come mercenary. He's got a Decepticon and an Autobot powermaster. So the first one, the humanoid, is the Autobot, and he's called Knock. And the Decepticon one, which is a bat, is called Scar. Now he's very, if I bring him up, he's very G1 Rat Bat sort of designed along those sort of lines. The actual vehicle itself is nice. I'll bring it into shot. It's very similar. I think a lot of people would see a similarity with the later G2. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but it later became the Soundwave mould. Again, that was basically a rocket, but that was I'm trying to think. I can't remember the name offhand. Somebody will probably remember, or I'll add it in as a comment. Nice alt mode, quite nicely detailed with some sort of sticker details and that here and there. All freewheeling wheels. For his transformations, you again take off the blue part, pop off his rocket launcher, and as I said, I'll put that down for a second, that splits in half, clips together. Now for his transformation, you lift up, which will be his head. You can see his face there. We'll do the Autobot version first. So to transform him, as with most Powermasters, I'll bring Knock in, so you can see he's pretty much standard, just a little bit of colour picked out in his face and his chest. Engine mode on the back. Fold his legs up and they clip in up into his shoulder. Just have to watch the arms. You don't put too much strain on the hands down the bottom there. And you plug him directly into the compartment underneath where his head is. That releases these red clips on the side. Now I always tend to start with his legs first, which flip the front of the rocket launcher out, pull it apart, and flick them round to the front, so you can see that part becomes his feet. Then up the top, bring these sections out to the side. They're hinged on this red part, so it's double hinged, so it comes out and folds right round. And then you fold down his arms. As you can see, that's pretty much most of his transformation done. You see his Autobot logos on his shoulders there. Lift his head up, nicely ratcheting still after all these years, up to the top. And then you can put the blue part onto that to create his chest piece. Now the two parts of his rocket become a shoulder mounted cannon or missile, and then the other part, the back part, becomes his blaster, and that's his Autobot transformation. And again, you'd think, just pretty normal Autobot. But if you go back to his original mode, and just quickly transform him back. And he's back at his rocket launcher. Take out Knock, transform Scar. I'll just put him down while I do this. Fold in his wings. They overlap each other. Now the difference between these two Powermasters is the points at which the transformations happen. The small peg between Knock's legs, which I'm not making a joke about, does the transformation for these red parts here. Whereas on Scar, you've got 2 pins on the sides there. Now as he plugs in the same port, he releases a different set of catches within the sides, and that allows these rear wheels to swing out, and you swing them right down, swing his head back to like the missile launching position. These parts then with the back wheels swing down, and you can see the purple foot. You pull that out. Now at the moment he looks pretty much like, well, it's an upside down rocket launcher with skids, but you then fold out these purple wings and they slide out, and then you've got his Decepticon logo. Lift that up, and inside is, I assume, like a condor or eagle head. Close that back up. I mean, you can, I believe, I'm not sure if that goes in there, you can, I believe, put that somewhere, I won't worry now, but out of the way. And that basically is his transformation. Now you can put the blaster on his back, and the front part of the rocket clips back in and becomes like a bomb, and then you've got his Decepticon mode, which, not the most threatening Decepticon I would imagine, you know, a giant turkey like eagle coming at you, but definitely one of the more unusual Powermasters. A lot of the conventional ones, obviously, like the Autobots, like Getaway and Optimus Prime, and obviously Dreadwind and Dreadwing, they're conventional jets. So this was quite an unusual transformer in its own right. Quite a lot of playability. Obviously you could come up with quite some interesting storylines along his, you know, his antics, what he'd get up to, playing one faction up against the other to make himself more wealthy. But definitely one of the more unusual transformers. As with in both modes, you could attach the blue part at the back there and plug whichever of the Powermasters you're not using into it, and therefore we become like a gunner sitting at the back of the gun. Again, a very interesting transform in its own right. I'll just bring the box art in so you can see all these box details. And of course on the back is a different view from some of the earlier Transformers artwork, in which you've got Powermaster Prime and the Pretender figures fighting it out. But yeah, very unusual figure. It's one of the more unusual ones that I've got in my collection, in so much of storyline behind it. I have got one of the Autobot spies, the punch or counter punch, depending on which mode he's in. And that's about it really. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you again.